Jalter. This is a fan favorite character, especially in this outfit. My god, is this one of the better costumes in the game. Her, like, Shinjuku was just so fucking good. That event was just so goddamn good. She is a year 1 servant. But do these look like year 1 hit counts? No, they fucking don't. This is like some real good shit that this character had out of the fucking gate. I am so glad she did not come out in like at the start of year 1. I am so happy because they would have probably gimped her like face cards like they did OG Jeanne. No, this is a kit that has aged like fine wine, hit count wise. Let's go back upstairs. Base attack, the highest in the fucking game, bar none. Jalter has been queen of the castle for attack since like she came out. She has had challengers, she's had servants that come close, but she, from what I remember, is the highest attack in the game. HP much lower than her attack, like hilariously like 1500 lower, like berserkers. Is she as like squishy as berserkers? No, she does want to get hit though. She does want to get hit because then her MP gauge is gonna go boom. Yeah, so you got to protect your Jalter. Maybe just throw a Merlin in for a good measure, not necessarily double bitch. Star rate Sergeant are Avenger numbers. Sergeant isn't the worst. Berserkers have the worst Sergeant, but this isn't much better. Star weight, also not Berserker value, but not that much better. He need like they don't need as high percentage as Berserkers to guarantee they get all the stars, but they do need very high, like up in the thousands. Otherwise, people are just like stealing all the stars all the time. She definitely needs it. MP charge 0.83%. That number is so standard, but most other servants that have this have like really bad hit counts. Like consistent, like 2 is their average hit count across the board. Her extra is 7. Her quick card is 3. Arts is 2, yeah, and Buster is 4. Mighty chains look really good on her. Like her extra attack gives you so much refund, like in comparison to like others. Like you'll be seeing a similarity to like Shisho for how good this performs. Like they're from our yeah, I think Shisho is about like 0.71 or like around 0.8, so they should be similar. Shisho would gen more stars, Jalter would gen more MP. Yeah, and she does have crit synergy in her kit to guarantee she crits on the arts cards, so her MP really does go really fast up. And if you can do MPQA, yeah, that's gonna be like some of the best refund you'll get with Jalter. Not the best for a turn, but some of the best arts card, some of the best refund for an arts card that you'll see on her. Also, chaotic evil, meaning you pair her with Domin if you want to give her 40% attack and 100% crit damage. That's something to also consider. Skills. First one is Self Mod EX. 50% crit damage, 800% star weight on a 5-turn cooldown. So I like this skill, but they have been buffing this a lot recently. Or not all. This is a skill that is like half the servants that have it have gotten it buffed, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 6 servants and 3 of them have gotten it buffed. 2 of them, of which are a 4 and 5 star. They had the same version of the skill, so it's not out of the question that Jalter might get the skill buff. Which, oh boy, like, what the fuck are the? I honestly don't know what they'd even do to buff this skill for her. Like, the only thing I could possibly see them doing is like, so when these two got their self mod buffs, they got a bonus for doing the extra attack. For Jalter, that is like really good incentive, and I think it would be like, because she's stars and she's battery. I don't know if they're just gonna give her battery too. Or maybe a power mod against lawful good. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's buff Jalter even more against rulers to just give her power mod against lawful good. Like, it could be lawful and good. It could be both of them. But if they act like lawful good, probably would make the most sense and balance Jalter the best way, so that she's not getting two 50% power mods and just one 50%. I would see that being the most likely buff for this, because stealth mod, it's cool. Jalter has stuff in her kit to let her take advantage of this star weight. These two really didn't have that, but stealth mod is a skill that's up for being buffed. Give Jalter lawful good power mod. Do it, you cowards. Her damage isn't at the top of the chart anymore. Second skill, I'm not the biggest fan of this one because she doesn't get the second part. 20% attack up, 20% up for dragon allies. The thing is, like, most of these servants you wouldn't exactly be using with Jalter. Like Oberon, sure. If you're using like Black Girl setup, sure. Does that mean he needs it? No. There is a distinct lack of supports that are dragon trait, and there are a bunch of servants that have the dragon trait, Melisande, but there are usually other buffers for them. They don't need 40% attack. If they're chaotic evil, you could just bring Domin and he'll do the same thing but better. No, that actually, yeah, like, if they're chaotic evil, you should just bring Domin. You shouldn't bring Jalter the 40% attack. Like, they'll probably get more out of like other buffers, and there will be a certain point where your cost for your party gets too much. So do you want someone that like Domin covers? There are definitely chaotic evil. Jeanne, definitely chaotic evil. Yeah, like, chaotic evil is broader than dragon trait. And it just, like, a lot of these servants are also single target, so why would you bring two single targets to the same fight? That's just me personally. I would be buffing one single target and then trying to buff up two. So this is all, like, I get why she has this skill. Don't get me wrong, I get it. It's just like she doesn't get this, and like the servants that would like it are not. They're all DPSs too, and Jalter is 100% a DPS. Actually, wait, let me double check that. Like, I would want to say Melisande, but like, Jalter doesn't have batteries of her own. Like, you're not going to use Melisande's batteries on Jalter, not unless you're doing like hybrid setups where Melisande's also actually using her arts. And so you'd have Castoria doing AoE batteries. Yeah, like, it's just awkward. I've always thought this was awkward. Like, it's cool that she has it, but it's not that practical. I would like this buff too, more than this, honestly. But yeah, my opinion on that. Third skill, again. This could also use a buff. Like, all of Jalter's skills are up for getting buffs because her MP is cracked. The buff they gave her MP this anniversary is cracked and helps her gameplay so much, but her skills aren't really that good. At least this is an invulve instead of a dodge, because Jack has a dodge and that can be pierced by invulve pierce. she does deal 1,000 damage to herself, but it's nothing. If you pair her with Merlin, she's gonna heal that like that turn. Don't worry about it. Buster up 50%, cool, but like you have you have two options: use it for the buster up or use it for the defense. It's not outside the realm of possibility to get the setup for both of them. It's just not as likely. You more likely or not are popping it for the buster buff for damage, and this invul is just like on the side helping you get free MP gen back because you're gonna get hit more likely than not. Passive skills: MP gen up when taking hits 18%, and reduce party's debuff resistance by 8% except for herself. I need to bring this up again because I don't do it often enough. This is enough to count for Karen. If you put Karen on the same team as literally any Avenger, she gets her attack buff for free. She gets it for free because this counts. So you don't need Black Rail all the time to let Karen have that attack buff. But I mean, Black Rail is just free for her. Like, it is literally her best CE because of that. This is just like, say you don't want to use Black Rail like me when I do my farming and I just like go for like 6 support CEs. If you're using Karen, just put an Avenger. It doesn't have to be Jalter, it could be Salieri, or Unger Manu. Yeah, Unger Manu. That would be lowest cost. But yeah, enough about the Karen part. Back to this part. Avengers already have a high MP charge, like the same as a Berserker, but they also have this passive to make it go even higher. Doman also has a passive called Hedonism that is basically the same thing as this. I don't think Doman has, I think his base charge is 4%, so his brings it up in line with like a Berserker, while Jalter's just goes even further beyond. Oblivion Correction A, 10% crit damage. This passive is like the Avengers like rage, how they never can forget who they slighted, who they're angry at, who their vengeance is going to be aimed towards. And then as a cherry on top, she gets 4% gauge every single turn just for being an Avenger. She does not have batteries. Do I see them buffing her third skill and giving a battery? That is so fucking likely and so lasagna. I would see that happening. Like next time she gets buffed, that is probably what they're gonna do. They're just gonna slap a 30% battery on this and call it a day. Do I think they should do that? No. Is it going to help her like fit in the Vitch and Oberon meta better? Yes, because right now, like, unless she doesn't kill, she's not working that well in the meta. That if you're in a boss fight, it doesn't really matter, and you might not even be bringing Oberon, just double Vitch. But even for double Vitch, she's not really double stacking enough. Like, she'll double stack her crit damage, cool. Like, her general crit damage will be nice, but she's not getting 40%. She wouldn't be stacking 40% to get 80. She'd be stacking 20 to get 40. She can't even pop this twice unless you're using Atlas to like literally double pop at the same turn, and then you don't even get the second invul. And you're doing like 4,000 damage to yourself because Coin Sky has batteries too. Like, I'm not saying Jolter's the perfect servant. I do think she needs buffs on her skills, but her damage speaks for itself. Despite all like having a fantastic upstairs, okay skills, she has a great MP now. Now she has a great MP. Before it was good, you'd use it for its effect, but now you use it because damage and it's second effect too, to make Jalter better. So this is the OG version. 10 hit single target buster, inflicts buff block for 1 time. I just talked about Mephistophelies. Now his skill is 3 times. This functions the same way. If you're fighting a caster boss, they used up one of their 2 actions to use this up. instead of attacking you. Because if they pop a skill, they're not attacking. They can't, unless they're debuffing. But most bosses are buffing themselves up more, and their bar breaks are usually debuffed. So putting a buff block. Oh, right. I actually didn't say that in Mephistophil's video. Buff block stops bar break stuff. If they're not permanent stuff from a bar break, a buff block will stop some of that shit from going through. Because it is buff block, not skill block. It doesn't stop the skill from going through, it stops the effects from staying. So that does count for bar breaks. So if you are spamming Jalter's MP, bar breaks are not that much of a concern. It depends on the boss, but you can specifically pop the MP like right before a bar break, even if there's not much HP left, and just try to refund back just to make sure that bar break is not gonna give them 100% defense that you need buff removal to get rid of. Like, it might permanently be up for the rest of the fight. So popping that right before the bar break is awesome. And if you break the bar, they're not popping a skill before that either. They have to let the bar break effect go through. And it was also Curse. It was baby Curse. It's not something you'd build for. She wasn't good for Domin over evil Curse memes. She had it. You technically could use her. She is chaotic evil. She'd work with Domin, but it's not something you should really be building for. Same with Tyra. Buffed MP. She drops 30 stars now. For a serving class that isn't the best at making stars. Her MP gives her enough stars to like pretty much guarantee her crits. Like with this star weight, all the stars are pretty much hers. And then you have to take and consider mighty chains. If you do a MP quick arts, then you had another 20% crit chance added to those cards. Like even on a turn without popping this, mighty chains just makes Jalter more consistent. This is like, I don't want to say this is overkill because she did actually need this. She had problems critting, so the 30 stars for her, like, she doesn't need Merlin now to like force feed her stars. But and so she's more self-sufficient in more damaging teams like Bitch and Oberon. And use them, you just need to rely on face cards to refund because Jalter doesn't have a battery. And by that logic, you could use Black Rail, which would help back with Oberon. Fafnir won't shut the hell up about embracing the darkness. What? What the fuck does Seeing have to do with this? He wasn't even in Chaldea before this. Jalter's chibi new. Oh yeah, and this was also before Summer 3 too. Her chibi. It's showing. It was showing when she was a berserker. It's definitely showing here. This was a sign. Mats for skill level ups. 10 of each. This is normal Avenger stuff. Are the mats that good? They could be better. The mats could be better. They're not great, but they're not horrendous. Like, the worst things here are not that high. Yes, you need 15 bells, but 15 bells just for a pens? That's pretty fair. Like, considering Melisande needs like 200 plus for all her stuff, I could divert like 15 bells. I'm like, what's 15 bells when you're going for 200? That is like less than 5% of what you need. Right? No. Not 5%. Less than 10%. So it is literally a drop in the bucket. Bond CE, buster performance while she's on the field, 15%. She's not on rate up, so I'm not saying you need to go summon for her, but she is just very good. She is consistently Sorry. She's consistently high damage. She's an extra class, so you can bring her to any fight and not have to really worry about her taking more damage than she should. It will almost always be type neutral, unless you're fighting a moon cancer or a berserker, in which case just bring another class. Like, you shouldn't. Oh, like, extra classes advantage is that the standard classes don't do that much damage to them, or as much damage. Yeah, I love Jalter as a character. I want them to buff her, and if I was a betting man, I would say that she would get a buff sometime in like September, October, because of Samurai Remnant, as like a promotional thing, because Jalter is in that game as a Lancer. Now, I have a good idea why she's a Lancer, because like, you in a normal Holy Grail war, you should not be able to summon extra class. That is a confirmed fact. So why would she be summoned as an Avenger in that world? It would make far more sense to be a Lancer, since her younger self is a Lancer. This mouthful of a name. She is a Lancer. She does wield the spear. Like, Jalter does wield a spear. Her Noble Phantasm is like the same type of shit as Vlad. Like, literally the same type of shit. It would, like, her being a Lancer makes so much sense. But yeah, enough of that. I really hope she does get that buff in September. I will be happy to remake this video for her, if so. Until then, she is a phenomenal servant, not must pull, but if you have her, you should probably build her. Oh yeah, I never actually said depends. Go extra attack. Go extra attack until they give her a battery, and then you can work towards getting a mana loading. But for right now, like, we're on NA. She still doesn't have a battery 2 years later. If you really want that next depend, start bond grailing her. Like, isn't that the solution? Everyone that says like the serving coin issue is fine says just keep bond grailing her forehead. Yeah, go. You got 2 years to do that. All right, I'm ready to stream soon. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.